Hi, my name is Gina Mitchell. I'm a professor of psychology, and today I'm excited to talk to you about how I have positively impacted the learning environment for my students. My strategies for improving the learning environment of my classrooms has sort of evolved over time, and it started by changing my mindset as an individual. So when I first came into the classroom in 2002 as a graduate student, I had the mindset that no matter what I did, some of my students would be unhappy and that some students I just wouldn't be able to reach. However, I quickly learned that this was a mistake and that mindset was holding me back from really working with and helping inspire my students to do great work. And so over time, one thing that I have come to do is to really listen to the feedback from my students and from my supervisors and from my peers regarding my teaching. And the biggest thing that I do is each time I get feedback from a team lead or from my students, I take a look and I go through and I try to identify one specific theme in the feedback that I can work on for the next term. So it might have to do with creating personal connections with my students, or it might have to do with better communication. But I try to set a very clear and specific goal that's based on the feedback from my students. This term, I am looking at personal connections with my students, and in order to do that, I have gleaned some more personal and professional data from their discussion posts, and I have used this in my grading feedback. I've used it to create announcements that are perhaps more interesting for them. And I've also used it in conversing with them in the discussion posts. In previous terms, students were looking for a little bit more clarity in the way that I communicated with them. And in order to address this element, I provided them with video announcements, screencasts, and more announcements and more examples of really exemplary work. And I think that this helped to give them a better idea of what they were supposed to be learning and how they were supposed to be using the material. I try to really look at self-growth as a way to improve what's going on in my classroom, because I think that when I'm at my best, my students can also be at their best. Thank you for taking the time to review my application.